Hello, everyone, for tuning in. And thank you for Cities of Learning also for this opportunity to talk a little bit about the more maybe a practical side of innovative work and culture in youth work, and then for me specifically online. So I do online impact coordination at Dynamo, a youth work organization in Amsterdam East. And earlier this year, I moved to online impact coordination from originally online youth worker. So that's a little bit more of a strategic role. So I now focus on shaping how we show up digitally as a youth organization. So it's a lot of building consistent online practices, connecting offline youth work with online youth work, and embedding these strategies into our team culture. So it's really not just about online youth work. It's not just about being present online. It's how we shape youth work in digital spaces, and also a lot about building trust, relevance, culture, and impact for the youths that we do all this for. So let's continue. Yes. So, what innovation and broad thinking means to Dynamo? Innovation, it isn't just about using flashy tools, even though we do have a nice toolkit with all the things you need to make things appealing for youths. So I'm talking about good camera quality, good content. But it's really more about the inside of what we make, of course. So it's about staying responsive, having the youths at the center, and learning as we go, which is really nice to hear, and very affirming to hear from Ursula, that is just part of this process of innovation working. Um, Being okay with learning as we go, and being broad-minded means we don't treat online and offline as two separate worlds, but it is one world. Whatever happens online can be a starting point for something in the offline space for youths, and vice versa. So it's very important for us that we see those two as linked, and also that we have a continuous presence online. So not just whenever we have a campaign just popping up and then disappearing for a month. No, it's really about intentional being in the spaces that the youths are at. And we also implement a combination of data and experiences. So not just what we hear in the youth work centers themselves. Oh, this is happening here, so we make something for that. No, also what is actually happening online. So there's a lot of signaling going on. Oh, I see the chat light up. Yes, thank you, Urshka. So what do I do specifically? So my role used to be a little bit more focused on online youth work itself, but as the years went by, I saw that there was definitely somebody needed there to do the strategic side of things. You really need a mind on that, because otherwise it's just one big soup of everybody doing something, but then what is the cohesive energy, the cohesive spirit behind it? So I spoke about it, and we decided to focus a little bit more on coordination. So I do that strategically. Then I make content. So I am part of the telling stories part. Um, I One second. Oh, sorry. So I am also in the field. I am actively in the spaces where the youths are at. So I do every Thursday, I'm in school, and then also in the youth center, just to pick up signals in the field as well as online through data analysis. So that's basically the focus point of what I do online. And then the next slide, please. Yes. So, listening to youth. Um, so it's one way that we listen to youth is through the data that we pick up online. One of the ways that we do that is through polls, for example. We use a content calendar because there's always a lot of special days going on, like a day of mental health, International Pancake Day, all these type of little links that you can link content to. We just had the week of mental health. And then what I do, for example, is in Instagram polls, I allow our followers, which are just the kids that come to our youth centers, to interact with us, to tell us, how do they feel, what is causing that. And that gives us real-time data and information that we can use to base our online youth work strategies on. Then also the saves and shares that we get, it reveals where the emotional weight lies. For example, we just recently did some content surrounding debt. A lot of children in Amsterdam are currently experiencing quite high debts because of apps like Klarna or other things. And what we saw is, it's not something you will happily come forward with, like, oh, I have a whole bunch of debt. It's something that is kept a secret most of the times. But what we do see is that video specifically got a whole lot of shares. So people sending it through to other people, and then also a bunch of saves, which basically means that it is, there's emotional weight behind it, and it's being picked up and seen as valuable. It is quite hard to do a great data analysis because the kids do respond, but it's usually with just a couple heart emojis, not really like how they feel about the video, for example. But through that, we can still kind of see, okay, this works and this doesn't. So around these insights, we can make content that are a direct response to the actual needs and not just from a framework from, for example, just theory. So the real-time aspect of it makes it very nice to actually implement what the kids would want to see and learn from us. Let's continue. Then something I'm a very big fan of. We have been doing this for about a year now, I would say, where we use the youth workers as influencers and digital role models. So maybe you're thinking now, well, that's not something for me. That makes a lot of sense. We are very lucky at the Dynamo to have a lot of youth workers that are comfortable being online, being a presence online. So I saw that and I was like, okay, well, let's implement that in our strategy. So what we do now is we make videos with the youth workers. Why? Is because we noticed that the youth workers often have a natural authority. Often the youths refer to our youth workers as, their other mother. Oh, I'm going to the youth center to go to my other mom. So there's this parental role where they are eager to learn from the youth workers. So because of that, we put them in front of the camera, and it allows them to basically teach and mentor in the digital space as well. And then what it also does, it builds a little bit of trust before contact. What we noticed with COVID is after COVID, a lot of children are experiencing anxiety. So it's quite hard to just, for example, go to a youth center or even go up to a youth worker that is in their school, because we also offer that. So what we do is we make meet the team videos. For example, one of my colleagues, Nisrin, who's one colleague I work with a lot online, we made a video at the start of her working at Dynamo. And this video, she's just showing us around the youth work location where she works, and then also talking a little bit about herself. And then what she noticed is every time she started working in school, she started being recognized by the youths, and they would come up to her, and the bond would be established immediately from the online space to offline, because they could already anticipate a little bit how she would be, and could kind of vibe check her before, and not having to do that face to face. So that's been working really nicely, and it's enabled us to reach a lot more kids. And then the next slide, please. Thank you. So trend monitoring and rapid response. Basically, there's a lot of signals coming from all around. We have we have WhatsApp groups I have an online team group with the youth workers that are also very active online, and we kind of signal to each other what is happening in the offline spaces, for example, the youth centers, but then also what is happening online, for example, influencers having beef with each other, or something more terrible, like, for example, fights breaking out in schools because of exposing situations. Then we also have the same thing with partnerships throughout the city. So that also allows for quick interventions on a bit more broad themes like money, exposing, online shaming, and the like. And then, for example, recently there have been a lot of scammers on Snapchat. This came in through various channels. So in the WhatsApp groups for the online team, but then as well partner alerts. And then what we did is we responded quickly by making a reel. Very nice video content, usable on TikTok as well as Instagram. And we posted it immediately, which resulted in a lot of saves for kids for further use. And then also I sent it out to youth work colleagues just so that they could also share it within their network. So it's an easy way to have a real-time and direct impact. And let's continue. Safe digital spaces. Yeah. So back in the day, at least for me, before I started, it was very normal for kids to also have a big part in the creation, also visible co-creation. So kids being in front of the camera and on screen, thinking along in the concepts and stuff. However, what we now see is that because of privacy and also because there's a lot of trolls online, kids do not feel comfortable anymore being a very big part of content creation or being online in that sense. So what we now do is, with the examples that I gave a little bit earlier, is we still do the co-creation, but in very different ways, so that the digital space is safe to be in for the youths, in a way that feels comfortable to them, without kind of pushing them to be part of the online world in a way that they feel not ready for or comfortable with. So privacy is first, and they can still make impact without having unwanted exposure. The digital mentoring and youth-centered content, well, I already spoke about that a little bit, kind of the type of content that we make. I will share, by the way, the Instagram and TikTok of Dynamo in the comments, so that you can have a little bit of a look and to see a little bit, what it looks like. So there's Reels, Canva posts, there's money, identity, mental health, and school. That's kind of the topics that we go into mostly. And then we mentor via our own role models, so the own youth workers, but influencers as well. And we always include pathways to help. So the video doesn't end without us giving clear instructions on how to get assisted with your issue. That could be money related, identity related, mental health, or school related. And and then youth empowerment. So what we do is we, next to, of course, being that option for giving information, we also like to push the kids that are ready for that to the forefront by talent-based storytelling. So for example, we have one of our youths that is at a location where he has a barbershop. So one of our youth work locations made that. and he's a 14-year-old boy, and he is a barber. And this is super cool, of course. So what we do is we talk with the youth worker. Hey, do you think he would be down to talk a little bit about that? And it becomes a success experience for the kid, because he gets the opportunity to show himself online in a way that is comfortable and safe for him, but then also learn how to present himself. And yeah, we there were a lot of great comments on this video where he was introducing himself and showing, what he does. So yeah, that's a really nice way that we're still implementing talent development also in the online space. There's also this a woman that's a theater maker, and she has a show running currently in Amsterdam. And she kind of started out here in the location I'm actually at right now. But we have an interview planned with her too, to also show kids when they find us online, hey, I can maybe expect that if I pursue my theater talents, to also get where this woman grew to. So in that sense, we also try to empower through generations. So this culture enables deep listening. It's catching signals and acting on these results. There's quick action. We try to be really alert and to respond ASAP when something really important is going down. We are intentional with protecting youths and are very much safety first. And we try to reflect reality. So be mindful of how the interlinkedness is there between online and offline, and try to play into that. And we build trust by allowing kids to feel like they have already been at one of our locations before actually stepping into one. Do in the practical sense, I try to put a lot of information together in a short time. So definitely, if you have questions, please let me know, and I will get back to you in the comments. And I will also put the socials of Dynamo in the comments so that you can have a little look. So thank you so much.